This week, the women fighting for tech recognition, Berlin in the round, and Attack of the Swarm. It's going to be monstrous. This week, we've been to IFA, the massive tech show in Berlin. We'll be looking at the big launches and the cool new devices from the fair in a few minutes, and we'll also hear from the people behind them, who, we've noticed once again, are mostly men. The lack of women in tech has been well documented, and it's something that we run up against every single day working on Click. And it's so frustrating. It's extremely rare for us to turn up at a tech company and for any of the available spokespeople to be female. It's been suggested that the lack of women in tech starts developing early on. Kids are going back to school this week, hot on the heels of stats from the latest exam results here in the UK showing that girls are turning away from STEM subjects. That's science, technology, engineering and maths. Only 20% of those who sat the computer sciences GCSE exam this year were girls. For GCSE engineering, it was 10%. Well, someone who is fighting gender stereotypes is Anne-Marie Imafidon. At 11 years old, she took an A-level in computing and by 20 had graduated from Oxford in maths and science.
So the biggest thing is the social norm, and it's that awareness of the options that you have, but also the role models and the people that have gone before you. And so you think that maybe it is just for dead white guys to do, and of course there are loads of living guys that are working in science and technology, but also loads of dead women that have created things like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, of course famously Hedy Lamarr. The first programme was written by Ada Lovelace, but there are countless women whose stories we don't hear and whose we haven't been told. And so that definitely plays on that social norm.
Anne-Marie co-founded STEMettes, an organisation on a mission to inspire and help more young women into STEM careers. She's also filled a house with teenage girls from across Europe and turned it into an incubator to foster new STEM ideas.
So my advice to young girls is to look for your tribe and look for groups that you can plug into and get involved in. Technology is such a social thing to do. You rarely work on your own. I'd love to see a technical female character in EastEnders or something like that to kind of move the social norm just a little bit so that for the rest of us, that whole notion of there being a technical female is something that's not just that kind of one character in The Matrix or whoever it is in that Bond movie, but it's something that's a little bit more mainstream for all of us.
Of course, since I met Anne-Marie, there has at least been one big change on screen that may hopefully influence a whole generation. Maybe that should be regeneration of geeks. OK, now, as promised, to Berlin, to Europe's largest tech fair, IFA, where Dan Simmons has taken cover from the autumnal weather.
Tunnels of curved TVs lead you from Hall 17 to 18. There are 26 here at IFA, some larger than a football pitch, packed with the latest gadgets, gizmos, and gardening baskets. This one also uses LEDs, but to grow plants. The basket monitors and provides water and nutrients to promote growth, and it's out in November. This year, robots seem to be everywhere. Cute ones.
This one's got eyes in the back of its head. It's HD projector.
To ones that'll help you clean the floor. Now, it's supposed to stop if someone walks in front of it, but if it doesn't, at least you get a nice shoot shine. And this multilingual one helps you get to your gate, among other things, when you feed it your boarding card. Both started work at Seoul Airport this summer, hoping to impress visitors and raise LG's profile ahead of February's Winter Olympics. Smart helmets are catching on, and Chinese maker Lival showed off its new offerings for cyclists and skiers to safely stay in touch. Now, you can also listen in confidence as well to your music, which is coming through speakers just underneath the rim of this helmet. Quite smart then, really. You can take phone calls in this as well. That's why they call it a helmet phone. All of that is also incorporated into this helmet. Now, that one's available next month. This one, you'll have to wait till ski season gets underway because it's a proper ski helmet, but with an added bonus of a push-to-talk button here. That means that it connects to walkie-talkies as well as other helmets like this. So if you're skiing with your family or your friends, you can constantly stay in touch. Now, smartwatches haven't quite been the hit that was promised, so what about an old-school watch with hands, with the smart screen there when you need it? The hands even get out of the way when you get a message. The idea has already raised $6 million in crowd fundraising. And SanDisk has another big number on a micro scale. Now this is remarkable, 400 gigabyte SD card, because only last year this would have looked like this. We've seen Via's gadget for DIY home improvements that can see through walls earlier this year. Using radio frequency signals like radar, it can also detect how many people are in the room and whether they're sitting or lying down, useful for carers to detect falls. And the kit can also see through internal walls, so multiple rooms can be monitored without the need for an invasive camera. This sort of anonymous tracking could be used to smarten up our gadgets too.
So you can have your TV follow you around, you can have the TV turn off when you get up to get a coffee, you can have the coffee machine start making coffee once you leave your room in the morning, or even direct the air conditioning or the heating to follow you around, or to change in accordance to how many people are inside the room.
2 new upgrades to Consumer 360 cameras. Kodak's 4K offering is now an all-in-one unit. Post-production has been simplified with an easy-to-use slider to stitch the 2 images together if you don't like the automatic on-board result. And Insta360's One can now stream live to Facebook or YouTube if you down-res from its native 4K quality. It also lets you do a sort of director's cut of what you've shot to share with friends. And the clever bullet shot feature lets you go a bit Matrix. And Chinese newcomer Detu showcased its low-cost 8K 360 cam due out in November. 2 big phone launches here, LG's V30, which supports super high-res sound files and a stunning 2:1 ratio OLED display, and Sony's latest Xperia model, which uses the camera's autofocus function to create a 3D model of anything.
Normally, to do a 3D scan, you'd have to go to a professional studio and you need lots and lots of cameras. We've brought that experience into one single camera in a smartphone. Take the OBJ file, because it's just a standard OBJ file, and basically the possibilities are endless.
With some messaging apps out there already able to make use of these 3D scans, perhaps they are.
Welcome to the Week in Tech. It was the week that the Boston Red Sox were found to have used an Apple Watch to cheat during a recent baseball game. Players received messages about what kind of pitch was about to be thrown. Clothes that grow as your child grows won this year's James Dyson Award for Innovation. The garments are still in a prototype stage, but it's claimed that they will fit children aged from 6 months all the way up to 3 years. And it's goodbye to the Juicero. The 300-pound juicing machine was backed by Google Ventures and Kleiner Perkins, but was quickly criticised for being a sign of out-of-touch Silicon Valley elites, and essentially doing the same job as squeezing fruit with your hands. A pen-like device could identify cancerous tissue in 10 seconds. Scientists at the University of Texas found it had a 96% accuracy in finding tumours. And the world's best-selling electric car, the Nissan Leaf, got an upgrade this week, unveiling a European range of 235 miles on a single battery charge, and new self-driving features like assisted parking. But Tesla isn't feeling threatened just yet, it seems, as it says its Model 3 can still go further than the Leaf on one battery charge. And finally, the friendly plumber is no longer a plumber. In shocking news, Nintendo announced this week that legendary character Mario is a sporty fella, enjoying tennis and baseball, and that he did once work as a plumber. What's the future going to bring for his career, I wonder?
one over there.
Oh dear. Oh, there. What do I need to do? I need to shoot.
More,
Where are
more.
they? I thought your office was going to be a safe place.
The release of both Apple and Google's AR developer kits are creating a bit of a buzz at a time when augmented reality has been upping its game.
Well, we started out with augmented reality in books 7 years ago, and at the time we were using webcams and computers. Now the characters that we generate with the digital AR are much richer, they're more complicated, they're more sophisticated. The interactivity we can do with those creatures is much greater. So as ARKit and AR Core from Apple and Google come into play later this year, we'll be able to do even more. It's going to be a very exciting journey.
If you happen to find yourself on a roof and want to be joined by a dinosaur, then this could come in handy. The best AR experiences are when the virtual object is well placed in a 3D space and its proportions change as you move around it.
So it's here. Its face is here.
The AR kit will give the cameras on our everyday phones and tablets the capability to perceive depth better. It'll do so by tracking objects in a scene through the frame, using computer vision analysis and combining it with data from its motion sensing hardware. According to Google, its AR kit will also estimate the light coming into a room so that virtual things are placed in the scene and dynamically lit. And if rumours are to be believed, the upcoming iPhone will feature a laser sensor to improve its spatial awareness. And Qualcomm 2 weeks ago released this video, which shows their new depth sensing chip, suggesting Android devices won't be far behind. Right now, the pricey Microsoft HoloLens might provide this sort of experience for the elite few, but augmented and mixed reality could be heading to the masses. Well, that's certainly what the aim is with this, the $30 Zapper Zap Box. So the kit consists of this Google Cardboard-inspired headset, which of course you place your phone inside, and to increase your field of view whilst doing that, there's a fisheye lens to attach. Now you've also got a head strap, which means that once that's attached, you've freed up your hands. Once your hands are free, you're going to be able to hold on to the two controllers so you can interact a bit more with your content. And to make sure that you place things in a suitable environment in the real world, well, here are the markers. They'll ensure that the area is accurately mapped so virtual objects can be anchored appropriately.
There we go. Oh, there's a rabbit. Hello, a rabbit has appeared. Right, I need to get these in my hands.
Just a shame I found the headset rather uncomfortable to wear. It left me with a bit of a sore nose. But if a game of golf isn't for you, then maybe this is.
Thank you.
City Social's foray into the world of augmented reality uses the medium to bring their cocktail menu to life.
Lovely. You have a choice of what genre of art you would like in relation to what cocktail you choose, so every cocktail tells a story.
Before seeing this in the flesh, I did struggle to see the point, but the detail was beautifully executed. It was creative, and I think I personally could have appreciated it more on a food menu.
Cheers.
That was Lara. Now, earlier on we talked about the shortage of women in science, technology, engineering and maths, and that extends to gaming too. But in the realm of eSports in Asia, some women are trying to buck that trend and win themselves thousands of dollars in prize money. Danny Vincent has met a group of gamers in China who've given up their jobs and made a career out of it.
Welcome to the world of professional gaming. This is LLG, a professional female esports team based in Shanghai. They're a group of 6 gamers living under one roof, training 70 hours a week, playing the multi-platform online game League of Legends. China is becoming one of the new centres of the esports world. They've overtaken both the US and Korea. There are 500 million gamers here. This is Ningbo in eastern China, and this is the premium female esports competition. LLG is one of the leading female teams in the country. They've travelled across China to attempt to win their first trophy. 16 teams go head-to-head in this knockout competition to take home $30,000 in prize money. But more than the money, winning an international competition would bring the team recognition.
我们之前在玩游戏或者打比赛的时候，人家就会说：“哎呀，这女孩子玩的真的不好，没有男孩子玩的好。我上我也行，你赶紧下台吧，还不如我来玩呢。”就类似于这种话，就觉得，其实我觉得女孩子玩游戏也可以很厉害的，就大家不要用戴眼镜，就是戴色彩的眼镜来看我们吧。就我觉得男女应该平等。
It takes thousands of hours of physical and mental dedication to become an esports professional. Chinese men are amongst the highest paid gamers on the planet. The biggest earners can make close to $2 million a year. But female competitions are few and far between. LLG turned professional 2 years ago, but they're yet to win any prize money.
女子的比赛一般会比男子的比赛要少很多，而且男子这边有联赛，而且还有那个联盟认可的，但是女子这边就没有了。奖金也是的，男子的奖金一般会比女子高很多倍。就我觉得，如果女子能好好的发展下去的话，有希望可以跟男子并肩的。
The team have progressed into the second round after beating a Korean side. Tomorrow is the final of the competition. They retreat for the day.
今天打的比赛都太轻松了，所以现在压力是来自于对面队伍的那个太强了吧，只能这么说。
It's the morning of the final and nerves are setting in. Shan Chen dropped out of high school to pursue her career in gaming, against her family's wishes.
我比赛的时候特别紧张的，因为第一是因为下面很多人在看，然后大家这么看着我，我也就特别紧张。然后第二是我要想着怎么去获得这场比赛的胜利，要想着我要降低我自己在比赛中的失误，来帮助到队友怎么去获得这个比赛。所以心里的东西会想的很多，就会比较特别紧张。这样。
Esport players consider themselves athletes. They've trained hard to get this far, but they've already lost their first game. To take home the trophy, they must beat NG, a rival side from central China. This is a do or die moment for LLG. To win this competition, they must come together as a team. Winning a major competition brings pride to the side.
대학교를 안 갔어요. 배우고 싶은 것도 없었고 하고 싶은 것도 없었고 딱 필요성을 잘 못 느껴서 그래서 19살 때부터 일을 시작했어요. 근데 그 당시에 돈은 괜찮게 받았다고 생각해요. 그 나이에 비해서. 근데 열심히 그냥 평범하게 일하면서 살다가 그때도 이제 게임은 계속 했거든요.
The esports industry in China is set to become a medal event at the 2022 Asian Games. These may be the sports stars of the future.
That was Danny Vincent. Now, throughout this programme, we've seen just how powerful our smartphones are becoming, and they're playing an increasing role, for better or for worse, in self-diagnostics when it comes to our health. For example, here's the Billy Screen app, designed to spot early signs of pancreatic cancer by using special glasses or a 3D printed box to test the colour of your eyes.
So the goal of the app is to measure jaundice in adults by measuring the degree to which their sclera, or the white part of the eye, turns yellow. And jaundice can appear in many different medical conditions. The one that we're most interested in is pancreatic cancer because it has a very poor 5-year survival rate.
The app is still in development, but so far, in an initial study of about 70 people, it appeared to be about 90% as accurate as a blood test. And at IFA this year, advances too in demystifying medical procedures. This scope won a design award. It lets the surgeon and those around them see exactly what's happening in 3D, while displaying vital statistics in an easy-to-read way. Here, for example, the patient's blood flow level through each vein is easily displayed. But it was this 3D bioprinter that won this year's Gold Design Award. Cellbricks created its software to make it easier for clinical staff to design their own vascular structures and other cell tissue, which can then be printed to order. Cellbricks also offers more complicated mini organs, so companies can avoid testing products on animals and get a truer human result.
If you, for example, print a piece of liver tissue, these small mini livers can already convert toxic substances into non-toxic substances. And this is one key aspect of the liver, and we already can do this in the lab with our bioprinted objects.
But don't get too carried away. Alex reckons a full-size working human organ is still 10 to 20 years away. And one day, we might have the strangest things swimming through our bodies. Whoa! Don't worry, it won't be these, but it could be millions of tiny nano-robots that swarm in a similar way to these prototypes. At Bristol Robotics Lab, scientists are trying to work out how, in the future, we could treat cancer using bioengineered nanoparticles. Those are the tiny green dots that you can see here. They might fight the bad cells in a tumour, the red dots, by forming a trail to the problem area, targeting the infected tissue and delivering drugs directly to it. So how do you control millions of nanorobots to do such a complex task? Well, the answer lies in nature. This is swarm behaviour at its best. Dr. Sabina Howard and her team are harnessing the laws of nature and applying them to robotics.
What's fascinating with swarms is that each one of these robots is just following a simple set of rules and only looking at their local environment. And based on the interactions between all the robots working together, you get these beautiful complex behaviors, a little bit like flocks of birds or like ants when they create those trails to your picnic table.
It's easy to program robots to follow simple rules, and they would certainly produce some sort of swarm. But Sabina is trying to do it the other way around. She knows what complex swarm patterns she wants, and she somehow has to find the simple rules that produce them.
Either we use bioinspiration, so nature has figured out ways of doing this, or we use machine learning, meaning we do it automatically, or we do crowdsourcing, so sometimes we ask the crowd to help us find the rules, and then through simulation they can see what the group does and they can help us in that way.
As well as trying to reverse engineer nature, Dr. Sabine Howard has also developed tools to help program and activate so many robots in one go.
Nothing to worry about.
You saved the universe. All of these have come to life. Hang on. That's it from us for now. We live on Facebook and on Twitter at BBC Click, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Assuming this swarm turns out to be friendly, that is.
I'm a celebrity, get me out of here!